Bom dia, buenos dias, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning. I hope everybody has their coffee or maybe has their favorite hot beverage with them. We have a very special program today. Today is our season finale, our last episode of the Our.MINDS. And of course, it's a kickoff to our second virtual festival of learning and our last virtual festival of learning for this school year. Really exciting. We've got now two hosts. So we've got Julia with us. We've also got Clara from Salvador, Julia from São Paulo. And we've got three educators from different campuses, different divisions. So it's really exciting. Our episode today is about the Festival of Learning. Now, parents, families, everyone that's joining us, you will later on get to join in and see the different programs, projects, everything that's on display. But what you probably don't have a great idea about is everything that has to happen to get to that final project. So this is really good because we're going to get a nice insight into the whole process of everything. So it's very special. Julia and Clara, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Good morning. I'm Julia, and I'm very excited to be here today. Although it is a little early, I think we all are very excited to begin this episode. So, Clara?
Hi, Julia, thank you. So guys, I'm Clara from Salvador, and I'm also super excited. We have some really good teachers here with us, and as Scott said, we will get to know a little bit of the behind-the-scene process of getting to the Festival of Learning. We are all super excited because we've been working really hard on this, so let's go. To start, we're going to start with Ali, and I would like to ask him, how do you inspire your students to select the project? Because we all know the students cannot do everything by ourselves.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ali, and I'm the grade 4 educator at Concept Salvador. The way we select a project is a very interesting process. We start off by showing them the standards which we want to incorporate within the project. And we present these standards in using language that the students can understand and relate to. Then using these standards, the students come up with curiosity questions, things that they would like to learn and know more about within this project related to those standards. Using those curiosity questions, we then develop a very rich discussion, which can lead to some research as well. Maybe we do a bit of research about the questions that they have. And the result of all of this is a big idea, a big final essential question that summarizes what our project is going to be about. And it was in this process that we came up with our last project, which was called How Has Migration Influenced the Culture and Identity of Brazil? And within this project, we learned about Japanese migration to Brazil and how they've influenced the culture here. And this was very interesting for our students. They demonstrated a lot of curiosity about this, especially because a lot of our students have some contact with Japanese culture through anime and through origami. So we decided that our next project, which is our current project, would be about Japan. So the name of our current project is What Can We Learn from Japanese Culture and Practices? And it was very great because we were able to fit in the remaining standards that we wanted to study this year within this project. So the process of selecting a project is a very organic one and one which the students are very much involved with.
Thank you, Ali. I think one of the most important things for us in the Festival of Learning is definitely have the students engaged, so we can engage not only on studying and learning, but also on creating amazing final projects. But before we move on, I almost forgot, I would like for the educators to introduce themselves so we can get to know who we will be talking with.
Good morning. Hi, Clara. Thank you. So my name is Alexandra, and I'm an educator at Escola Concept São Paulo in the early years division. And I'm currently an educator in the pre-K4 level. Thank you. Good morning. Great to be here.
Good morning, Clara and Julia. So my name is Ali. I'm the grateful educator in Salvador, but I'm actually from Wales. But I've been living in Salvador for the last few years.
Buen día, mi nombre es Cecilia, soy de la Escuela Concept de Riverón Preto y gracias por esta oportunidad, específicamente español en Middle School, pero pertenezco a todo el equipo de Riverón Preto Concept.
I guess sometimes we just get so excited that we forget to ask you to introduce yourselves. That has happened to me a few times already because I just want to get into these questions and I forget. So, but I guess we should continue. I'm going to comment a little bit on Ali's answer. You talked about essential questions, and personally, as a student, I feel like essential questions really help us because sometimes when we're a little lost on the project and we're not really sure where to go, we'll look at our question and then we're like, ha, I got it. So my next question is to Alexandra. How important is the learning process when compared to the final products?
Hi, Julia. Thank you for that question. I love it because the learning process is just as important, if not more, to get to the end result of the project, because we're asking the questions, we're doing the research, and then we're asking more questions. We're ideating about the solutions. Then we test them, and then there might be errors, so we go in another direction. And sometimes we find something that we set out to look to the answer to find out was very different from the one at the beginning of the process. And that's what learning is about, is you're constantly doing research, you're learning, you're making mistakes, and going forward and finding new solutions. So it's just as important, if not more. And that's the process itself is what takes you to that end product that you show. It's actually a reflection of everything that you've gone through. Even in early years, we see that the process that they've gone, even through this whole year, it culminates here at this point with the Festival of Learning. We see so many connections and questions that they've had, and we get a chance to showcase it in the Festival of Learning. Thank you.
So I guess if we could think about it in this way, the final product is basically a very short summary of everything we've done before it. And it's a lot of stuff. It's very fun, but it's a lot. So Clara, would you like to add anything?
Absolutely. I really like what Alessandra said because without a final product, I think we wouldn't be able to realize everything we've been through throughout the whole project. And it's also a really important way for us to show to everyone what have we learned and all our discoveries and experiences and curiosities. So yeah.
All right, so this next question is also to Alessandra. So this is very long and very deep, so I'm very curious on how you will respond to it. But as an educator, what is the meaning of Festival of Learning as you look back at the process of your students' learning?
Well, there's a key point. Thank you, Julia. There's a key point, as you said, connecting to looking back at what they've learned and the process. The Festival of Learning is a way to showcase that learning. And we're all about making the learning visible at Concept. And the Festival of Learning does just that. It makes it visible to the learners who are so caught into the process and the day-to-day questions and research, and they might not realize how much they have learned and how much they've accomplished. And it makes it visible to their families who have realized what they've done, and also to the greater learning community, because we really want, and like now, we have Ribeirão Preto, Salvador, everybody gets a chance to engage and see what we're working on and these wonderful outcomes. So it's a chance to showcase that and make that learning visible.
When you said sometimes we get caught up in the process, draw a little arrow here. Well, when we're doing projects in my class, at least, we do a lot of reflections. And I guess that really impacts our work because we do something and then we see, did it work out? Why didn't it work out? What can we do to make it better? And when we do these little these little reflections all throughout our project, I think we end up with a final product we're all very proud of, because I think we realize even more what took us from, just the essential question to the final product. And if any of the other teachers want to comment, they can.
Also, something I would like to add that Alessandra said, that this sharing we had between the schools, this was definitely one of the perks of this whole situation with the COVID-19. But the virtual learning, we were able to share our product between the schools. And I remember some weeks ago when my class, the ninth grade from Salvador, we went to see the ninth grade from Ribeirão, and they had a super amazing project about women. But there was one time where they had this fight, and they planned this fight so that we would be like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And that was their goal, but we didn't knew. And my grade, we got into the meeting exactly when the fight started. So everyone was so like, oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? Is that for real? But we just love this like creative ideas we have with our teachers and our classmates on developing sorry, the project. So in the end, we can have a super amazing final product, and that really causes an impact on who is seeing.
It was a fantastic experience to watch the presentations of my grade in Ribeirão Preto and Sao Paulo. We learned from each other, and this was a fantastic experience, and it brought us together. So it was really great.
Thank you so much for sharing. Now back to the questions. I would like to ask Alessandra, what is the most rewarding to you as an educator on working with projects?
Hi, I think in a way you have already answered that, the impact that it has on you, the learners. So seeing how much you have learned, how much you accomplished, the connections you make, the fact that you're listening to each other, that you're thinking of different possibilities together, that's amazing. And being able to listen to you, actually put you at the center and realize what you want to learn, the questions, that I think would be the most important part.
Thank you. Now, ahora, para nosotros tenermos el punto de vista de otro educador, yo voy a preguntar la misma pregunta, pero en español para Cecilia. Entonces, Cecilia, ¿qué es lo más gratificante para ti como educador que trabaja con proyectos?
Ok, lo más gratificante para quien trabaja con PBL es la posibilidad de trabajar de una manera interdisciplinar, sin necesidad de segmentar el conocimiento. Al mismo tiempo, la posibilidad de poder aplicar ese aprendizaje en un contexto real. Eso es lo más gratificante. Y por cierto, tu español, Clara, es excelente. Te felicito.
Gracias, Cecilia. Gracias. Yo soy un poco tímida con mi español, pero muchas gracias. Yo concuerdo con usted. Yo pienso que esta conexión que nosotros podemos hacer con el mundo real y con las otras materias es no solo un diferencial de concepto, pero es algo que realmente ayuda a nosotros para fixar el contenido en nuestra mente. Now, if anyone would like to add to the answer, you can. And if not, we're going to move on to the next question. So moving on. Now to Ali, I would like to ask you, how were you able to adapt your learners to work project virtually? Because as we all know, this is a really odd situation. It's something that no one ever experienced before, definitely. So how was this process for you?
Well, I think first of all, I need to give credit to the learners. They were able to adapt to working with projects virtually. I've seen them grow and mature and be more responsible with their use of technology, and that's a testament to them. But I guess as the months have gone by, my expertise with technology has improved. my knowledge of different educational apps and platforms such as Nearpod and Jamboard has increased, which has improved, has made my classes more interactive and more dynamic. We've also been working with group work. So we've been making some mini links, mini lives, dividing the class into smaller groups and giving them a task to work with, trusting them to stay on task and to work and to collaborate with their classmates in these links. And we've been so impressed with the results of this. And this is also a testament to the students' responsibility and maturity in their use of technology and wanting to learn. We've also been using a lot of thinking routines, which I believe work really well virtually, such as the Zoom in thinking routine. Do you know about this routine, Clara?
Not really. I've never used this before. Can you explain to us what it is?
Okay, so the Zoom in routine is one where we get to really improve our vocabulary and also our inferring skills. So what we do is we show, so that we have a big picture, but we show them just one small part of it first. And we ask the students, we invite them to tell us, what can you see? What do you think this may be? So like I said, here they are improving their English skills because they need to think about vocabulary and also their inferring skills. So what do you think is the meaning behind this small part of this picture? And then we show them a slightly bigger part and we ask them the same question, what do you see now? How has this changed your thinking? And then finally, we show them the full picture. And we did this particularly when we were working with our project about migration to Brazil. So we chose a picture from Blumenau, a city in the south of Brazil, which was founded by the Germans. We showed a picture that had German architecture. So we showed them just a small part of it. And being online, the fact that I can share my screen allows us to do this in a very nice way virtually. So we showed them the small part. Well, what can you see? And then a slightly bigger part. And a lot of our students, they first thought that, okay, this might be in Germany. And then finally, we had the full picture. And that then stimulated a really nice discussion among the class about, oh, well, actually, this is in Blumenau. This is in Brazil. It's because of German migration to Brazil that we have German architecture in the south of Brazil. So using routines like Zoom in, I believe work really well virtually and allow us to really have deep learning while studying our projects online.
Thank you so much, Ali. I think that thinking routines are a really important part of our learning. And this kind of routines that make us reflect not only on what we are seeing, but what we are thinking. And it actually helps with the habits of mind, right? Think about your thinking. I think these are really important because we're not only like looking into a random picture, we're actually often doing these mental exercises so we can do this kind of like automatically. So we start to be more conscious on what we see and connecting with what we've learned. This pandemic situation was a really, really hard time for everyone, but I also would like to thank the teachers because my teachers have done an amazing effort, and I'm also sure you also did for it to be good for you, but also to be good for your students. And I think the other teachers also really deserve this prize of like, thank you so much for your effort on trying to make this the least worse you could, instead of like just sending content and content and content, trying to like keep up with everything we were dealing with and trying to like helping us as much as you could. So that's a huge thank you for you. Julia, if you would like to comment on this, you also can.
I would definitely like to comment, and I would also like to thank the teachers very much because this situation is very new to all of us. Now, not so much. Now we're kind of used to it, but in the beginning it was. And I guess all of us were a little lost. We didn't know what we were going to do. And I would like to thank the teachers for making this the best situation they could and like the more normal. And I guess they really adapted all of our lessons to fit into the virtual format. And in the beginning, again, it was like we were a little stuck. We were, doing little pieces, and then we were talking, and then we were doing a little more. And then the second Festival of Learning, I think we really got it. We used what Ali talked about, like using smaller links for group projects, and I think we all just kind of got used to it, and we were sorry, and we were ready to do it. And I guess that really helped us from having the experience from the first Festival of Learning to transitioning to the second in the same virtual format.
Cierto, ahora nosotros vamos nuevamente a preguntar para Cecilia. Entonces, Cecilia, para usted, ¿cómo has podido adaptar a los estudiantes para trabajar con proyectos virtualmente?
Ok, Clara, gracias. Bueno, pienso que solo voy a complementar en otro idioma, ¿sí? Pues concuerdo con todo lo dicho por Ali, por ti, por Julia, y exactamente es esto. En Concept Ribeirão Preto no ha sido diferente en términos de recursos tecnológicos. Esto no es un problema de adaptación para lo virtual, y realmente también nuestro mayor desafío ha sido la adaptación de nuestros estudiantes. Como lo han dicho, el mundo entró en una situación inédita y más que nunca ha estado en nuestras manos contener a estudiantes, a familia, entre nosotros mismos. Así que lo que agregaría, también hemos tenido buenas oportunidades, ¿no? Esto de poder contactar speakers de otros lugares fuera de Brasil, pero yo lo que complementaría sería la real necesidad de tener que aplicar los hábitos de la mente.
Gracias,
para adaptación.
Gracias. Esto que usted falou es muy relevante porque, pelo menos en mi clase, nosotros podemos hablar con varios guests de otras ciudades, otros países. Esto fue muy importante para nosotros como una turma, porque nuestro proyecto fue sobre la salud mental. Entonces nosotros pudimos hablar con psicólogos, con psicoanalistas, pudimos hasta hablar en nuestra clase de español con una visitante que pasa por trastornos mentales, perdón.
Sí.
Y esto fue muy importante. Yo pienso que, así como usted dijo, es muy importante esta situación que nosotros tentamos aplicar a los hábitos de la mente, porque
Sí.
antes era algo como que opcional, pero ahora nosotros tenemos que conscientemente estar haciendo este esfuerzo para que nosotros podamos no perder nuestra mente y enloquecer completamente, para que nosotros podamos continuar con nuestros proyectos y con nuestro aprendizaje.
Adaptabilidad, ¿no, Clara? Adaptabilidad. Muy
Sí.
bueno. Gracias.
Gracias.
Hola. Hola. So back in English, I can connect with what you have all said, Clara, Julia, Ali, and Cecilia. And I can connect even with early years, how we've also, we've applied visible thinking routines such as zoom in, spark the curiosity and questions and digging further. And also the habits of mind have been essential, thinking flexibly and thinking interdependently. Clara, when you talked about the project about mental health, that's so important. You're thinking about the others, how they're dealing with this very new situation. And I thank you very much for acknowledging the role of the educators, of the learners. And in early years, I'd like to also thank the families, because they helped support the younger children to realize that things would be different, that they would now see their educators and their friends through a smaller screen. Learning would still happen, but it would happen in a different way, and that support was essential. So I'd also like to thank them too. And it also opened up a new possibility for us, because we also got to learn more about them. They got to learn more about us, and we learned together. It was an interesting expansion there.
I guess we were talking about the habits of mind, and I cannot say how much they have helped us during these projects and during this, pandemic situation. Before we, we were using the habits of mind, but we weren't really identifying them. We wouldn't say like, oh, I'm persisting now, or I'm thinking about my thinking. And now I guess we do it, it's like natural for us to think, okay, right now I am finding humor. I'm thinking interdependently. And I guess that really helped us all. Sometimes when I'm stuck on something, I like to look at the habits of mind and say, I can continue persisting, or I can maybe think about my thinking, or I can use my knowledge or what I already know to this new situation. And I guess once I look at them, then my mind and all my thoughts, they kind of organize themselves, and I'm able to continue on my project and realize what I'm doing. So with that, I'm going to go on to my next question, which is, how do you measure if a project was successful or not?
Well, I think there are many ways in judging whether a project was successful or not. But I think perhaps the biggest indicator are the questions that the students ask during the project. I think that if they're asking the right questions, and if we have a lot of students asking curiosity questions, I think this demonstrates that they've got a connection with the project. They've connected the project with their lives or with their interests. And I think this enables them to, this means that they want to know more, that they are engaged and they are stimulated. Perhaps they may even go and research the answer. We had a situation last week where we were learning about tsunamis, and some of my students, they had some questions which I didn't know the answer to. So we said, well, let's go and do some research. Let's come back and let's share our findings. And we had a very rich moment where we all learned together. And I think when we have these moments, I think this indicates that the project was successful. I think also the student-led conference and the Festival of Learning are big indicators of the success of a project. I think that they represent the project in a way that is entrepreneurial, in a way that's exciting, and in a way that the students are proud of. It's a celebration. It's a moment for the students to share their learning with their families, with the wider community. And I think that this is it's an experience which I wish I had when I was a child. So I think that this is a great indicator of the success of a project.
Thank you so much. I also really agree with you on the part of like sharing, because we are really used to like the teacher says and we listen and we have to learn because we will have an exam in the end of the week. So I really like this of like you sometimes won't know it and we won't know everything. So we always have this sharing of knowledge and this sharing of learning, and then we share with everyone, and then it is new to them. Sometimes when we are presenting the final product, a parent comes and says something that we haven't thought of on when we were developed. So we were like, just thank you so much for helping us to like go one step further with our project. And I think that this sharing and this exchange of knowledge is the thing that concept has that no one else has, and that is really important for their learners and for everyone, because we're all lifelong learners, right? So yeah, Julia, if you would like to compliment, you can.
I guess like one thing that the pandemic, I'm thankful for in the pandemic, is that it brought kind of a new perspective to our class dynamics and our class in general. And now for the Festival of Learning, I realized that we were able to have a lot more discussions and we would talk more about our projects. So the teacher would show something and then someone would comment and then the other would be like, but how about this? And then we would really get going and then the teacher would jump in. And I guess we all felt really connected to, you know, have normal moments, I guess, in these very not normal times. And in our first Festival of Learning in the situation wasn't, I guess if you look at the final product, wasn't really successful because we aimed for something, but we weren't really able to do that. So we had to do something else. But one thing that we added in our final product was our reflection on why we weren't able to get where we wanted and what we can do next time to, you know, get our final product. And we talked about, you know, communicating more and whenever we have doubts, talking about them openly. And since we wrote that down, and I guess we kind of internalized it in this project, we were really able to communicate and talk, and then our project just kind of flowed, and it went like we planned, and I think we're all really happy about that.
Definitely, I feel like we've come to the end of the year, so it's a time where we are really thankful for everything that happened because we can see how much we've grown as students, as persons, and everything. And we are also really thankful for this space here where we can share everything. But unfortunately, we will have to go to the next question. It will be our last question, and all the teachers can contribute. So, last question. If you had to name one thing that means success with the project, what would it be? If you could name only one, think of all of them.
Hi. Well, that's that's a very difficult question, but I think the first word that comes to mind is curiosity. If the learners show that they're curious about it, they want to know more answers, and even like you said, that would make them engage and see that if they need to learn more, that's okay, and ask more questions, talk to different people. I think that, and show that they're engaged. I think curiosity.
Yes, I would have to agree. Curiosity and the interest and engagement of the students is vital for the success of a project. I would have to agree with you there.
Okay, so go ahead.
Nada, Julia, solo estaba con un problema de desconectar mi micrófono, perdón. Es solo unirme a las palabras de mis colegas, es todo esto. Además, quería decir lo que significa el Festival of Learning, ¿sí? Si pudiese resumir en una palabra, es exactamente todo esto que hemos dicho, es celebración, la celebración de nuestros estudiantes y la nuestra, claro.
Thank you guys so much for your answers and for your time. This was a super, super, super important moment for us, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for involving us too. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Muchas gracias.
I guess before Scott jumps in, I would also like to thank you very much for your answers and for being with us throughout this very difficult situation, because it really has helped us. And I guess in a way we were able to find humor in what's going on. And I guess that's always very important and makes a huge difference. So thank you.
All right. Wow. Thank you, everyone. That was amazing. 2 hosts. We also had 3 languages. I loved it. What's going to happen next year? Another episode. Are we going to get a 4th language? We're going to get Mandarin in there, maybe. Who knows? But that's absolutely fantastic. And I think I also want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Julia and Clara for co-hosting. It's amazing to have our learners involved. Okay, Cecilia, Ali, Alessandra, I want to thank you as well. It was amazing. I love to hear the insights, sharing all the hard work, everything that goes in, bringing awareness to that whole learning process, right? As it gets towards the final project was amazing. We've got, obviously, the languages, co-hosting was a little bit of a surprise. We've got another surprise for you. The surprise, though, is not who I'm going to introduce next, but the next person that we have coming on is very near and dear to our concept community. I know everybody knows her, but there will also be another short surprise after that, but I won't give any spoilers. But I would like to now welcome Priscilla to our episode. So Priscilla, come on, please join us.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Julia, Clara, Alexandra, Cecilia, and Ali. I am so proud of all of you. This was like the best highlight, I think, of the week for sure, of the month, to see all of you together and to see the beautiful co-hosting led by Julia and Clara. Well done, ladies. You guys were just awesome. And we think that it's so easy to just observe you, talking to everybody and leading the show. But we know how much hard work, effort, dedication, and really kind of managing your impulsivities and anxiety goes through this whole process. So we thank you so much for really dedicating yourselves and letting us have a little into your talents. So thank you. And Ali, Cecilia, and Alexandra, thank you for representing the hundreds of teachers that we have in our concept community and really being great representatives of the world languages that we indulge in, the work that we do with lower school and middle school, and the work that we do with early years. So thank you so much for being here. All of you talk, even though obviously everything is so familiar to me, but it is so great to step back and just listen to what you guys have to say. And is my internet still okay? Yeah, okay, perfect. And as I listened to the educators talk about what word really summarizes and brings everything together, and I heard the words curiosity and engagement, and I heard celebration, and Julia talking about reflection. How important are all those words through to the process of learning? We know that learning only happens through experience. We know that. Neuroscience has taught us that. And at Escola Concept, what we try to do each and every day is exactly what Ali was describing with his Japanese culture project, where we are able to gather the standards and benchmarks, put them into a kid-friendly language. Learners need to understand what they're learning. And being able to extract the big ideas and work with the curiosities to develop the essential questions that will guide teaching and learning throughout our entire process in our school. So for that, I am so grateful that all of us have really embraced this culture of learning and that we really understand what it means to learn. And we're able to apply neuroscience to everything that we do each and every day. When Julia mentioned reflection, you don't learn without metacognition. You need to end the learning process by saying, what did I learn? What did I not learn? What do I still need to learn? What worked? What didn't work? What will I do differently next time? You need to be able to stop and have those moments to recognize where you are in your learning journey. And it is so beautiful, not just to hear the educators saying that, because we've gone through hundreds of hours of professional development and we all have embodied that, but to listen to our learners being able to say that and express that at such a young age, I think that should make all of us very, very proud. And it's a testament to the work that we all do. So thank you, learners. What a beautiful culmination of learning. And I want to be able to also share in just a few words how grateful and thankful we are for 4 heroes that we've identified. We've identified the 4 heroes this year, the 4 heroes of 2020. Obviously, we have other heroes that are outside of our community. Everyone that works in the health sector, everyone that works to provide help, everyone that has worked in the front lines. We know that those are our biggest heroes in our world, in our communities. But we have 4 heroes in our concept community. Those are the educators. Without you guys really dedicating, reinventing, extracting, being flexible, juggling, and really showing up every day with an open heart with the smile on your faces, and with the disposition to learn. Without you guys, none of this would have been possible. We could have had the best technology, the best parent support, the best learners, but if we didn't have you, learning wouldn't have happened, and this school year wouldn't have happened. So our big thank you goes out to what I believe are our first heroes, our number one frontline heroes in the concept community, which are our concept educators. Thank you, Ali, Cecilia, and Alessandra for representing everybody today. But we know that you represent a small fraction of all other educators from Sao Paulo, Ribeirão Preto, and Salvador that were out there each and every day. And we know and recognize that it was not easy. You guys were accepting everybody into your homes, and you guys were also being accepted into other homes. What a tough job. And to say that as leaders, we know what that means, we kind of do, because some of us led some classes, but we have no idea what it means to the degree that you guys have experienced it. So once again, thank you, and we will be forever grateful for all that you have done this year. Our other heroes are our learners, because we could have had the best lessons and we could have had the best plan, but if you guys didn't show up, then what would that be worth? Nothing. And you guys had to also change your mindset. And you guys had to go through challenges and difficulties, not being able to be with your friends, being at home 24/7. That's tough. It sounds fun, but we know that it's not fun. To be home every day, learning in front of a computer, opening up our technologies, it's so much better to be at school. And I think that all of us learned to value that a ton this year. But learners, you guys were awesome. You guys rocked it. And to be able to really showcase all of this today, that must really make all of you proud. So learners and educators, well done. Our third heroes are our families. We know how tough it was. Definitely tough to have your children home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The dedication that you guys had to put forth, the time, the commitment, the energy, the understanding. Wow. To say that that was a challenge is definitely an understatement. So our hearts and our really empathetic hearts go out to you. And then, of course, none of this would be possible without the leaders that are working backstage day and night. And I really think it's important that we really give ourselves, leaders, leadership, coordinators, a pat on the back, because there was a lot of backstage work being done and that no one really knows about. And sometimes when things are done and things are baked and we're serving the cakes, it looks like it was easy. But we know how much energy, how much time, how much you all gave up of your personal lives throughout this journey to make our virtual village coalesce and come together successfully. So nothing better than the Festival of Learning for us to celebrate the moment, to enjoy it. We know that the celebration won't be perfect. We know that the Festival of Learning won't be perfect. It's not supposed to be. It's a learning process. Of course, today there will be mistakes. Of course, you'll forget. Of course, you'll get nervous. If you didn't, that would make me nervous. So going through anxiety, nervous, that's normal. Enjoy it. Have fun. Cultivate what you've done and bring that together in this moment that is really going to be truly magical and spectacular, and accept the wonderful learnings that you guys will have from today. And with that being said, I'm going to stop talking because all of us want to dive into the Festival of Learning. But before we do so, we have this awesome surprise that Scott said that we all had for you. And Scott, I forgot to thank you, right? I thanked everybody but you. So thank you, Scott, for really putting all of this together and really supporting all of us throughout the process of Our Minds. Our Minds was such a rich event that we were able to put together and pull together throughout the course of this year. We started with Julia hosting. We're ending now with Julia and Clara as co-hosts. And there was so much learning involved. So Scott, thank you for all that leadership on the backstage for that. But going back to our surprise, Scott mentioned that we have a wonderful surprise for all of you. And it warms my heart to say that the greatest opportunity throughout the course of this pandemic was that the 3 schools were really able to come together. And we were able to come together in a way that I don't think we've ever even imagined that we would be able to come together this way. And today, right now, we're going to showcase our pre-K3 to grade 9 learners who have come together in a virtual choir. And this virtual choir represents all of us coming together, the world coming together. There's a lot of representations here and symbolisms that we should all listen to and be aware of as we gather data through all of our senses and we really explore this habit of mind today as we dive into learning. So for now, I would like to thank everybody, to thank our community, and to thank our virtual choir who will come together. Thank you all the arts teachers, all the arts educators who were involved in this fantastic project, and let This Is Me, which is the name of the song, guide all of the me's and all of the we's inside our community, remembering the power of we will always be stronger than me. So thank you so much, and let's have a great, great morning.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause they don't want your broken parts.
I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, we want your love you are. Lord, don't bring me down to dust. I know there's a place for us, for we're glorious. The sharpest words when I put me down. I'm gonna stand the floor, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look how I see I come. And I'm marching under the background. I'm not scared to be seen. I may know apologies. This is me. His breath, this is Bruce, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. Look out, cause here I come.